Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. Here are some of the many things I've been wanting to share about with you guys, which has been on my mind. So one is delusions and something called a contagion, and how a delusion in someone can spread to many, many other people so that they also believe the delusions of that person and support that person, including, as we've seen in some cults, that they will die with that person if they jump over the edge of a cliff. Do Google that. I had a great conversation with a guy called Rory about if you could take down Hitler, would you? And we've discussed this forever in history. If you had the opportunity to take down Hitler, would you? Now, he shared the point of view that many other people view, is that they probably wouldn't have taken down Hitler because we had all the great inventions because of war and how people had to survive. Whereas my point was, how do you know that you wouldn't have got those same inventions anyway, with people collaborating in a society which wasn't impacted? Now, the thing is, we don't know. Nobody knows the future. So if you could have taken down Hitler, would you? Because a lot of lives would have been saved. Or you might have taken the opposite approach. You might have thought, if we'd saved all those lives, like in the very famous Marvel cinematic Thanos one, I think it's called the Infinity War, where this being called Thanos believes if he can halve the population in most worlds, then people will have longer to live, they'll have more resources to use. So you might think that. We also know that at the time Hitler was around, that actually a lot of people felt he was doing a lot of good to their country, but in the long term, so he may have been doing that, in the long term he caused a lot of problems. So would you have taken him down? How long do you have to live? That's another broadcast I wanted to talk about, because you see, when you're hurting a lot of people. Sorry, I keep joining my microphone. I'm trying something new here until my new microphone arrives. Because I noticed it was very echoey in some of my broadcasts. But do tell me what you think of the sound quality anyway in the comments below. So, how long do you have to live? If you knew that you only had 2 or 3 days to live, would you be on social media posting horrible things about other people, whether it's true or not, or would you be going out there and really enjoying your life? Now, that comes out of something that my daughter said to me. Actually, Jessica, she's been fantastic recently, and I have this point that I always take to her, that perhaps one day I'm going to die and I want you to have a party and so on, and she gets very annoyed with me. So some of the revelations that I've had is about the eczema that I've been having, and it could actually be related to stress. And I don't ever think I'm stressed. I really don't. But as some of you know, I'm an empath and I pick up other people's emotions. So a lot of that eczema could have been stress related. And instead of wearing all the cotton stuff, if I got rid of my stress, I could be wearing the fantastic clothes that many of you guys wear, which are not made out of cotton. Your purpose. Now, I have never actually ever known my purpose. Isn't that interesting? All these decades I've lived. I tried new things, got good at it, maybe got bored later on after I've reached a certain success. And it just dawned on me the other day that perhaps my purpose is to be the advocate, the ambassador to protect people being bullied or pushed down in any way, or the kind of like the underdogs. And I noticed that this is something I've been doing throughout most of my life. So when I see somebody suffering, maybe financially, maybe from food or whatever it is, or just people hurting them, then I'm kind of there. So I'm believing that that's probably my life purpose. So more about that later on. The other thing I was thinking about actually is this whole concept of cowardice and courage, and how what looks cowardly could actually be quite courageous, and how something that looks courageous could actually be quite cowardly. And that comes into my TED talk. So think those are thoughts to think about. Now let's get on with today's broadcast, and I really want to share about how to train your mind to create your success. This comes out actually of something that happened in my family a while ago. My mother, who was a fantastic woman, just a very generous lady, and she was so generous that I remember once being at an airport, and this French lady, she didn't know English, but my mum knows French, and so she spoke to her. Now, this lady's flight had got delayed or something had happened, so she brought this lady home, looked after her, and then took her back the next day. And she was just a really wonderful lady. But somewhere in her life, she just wanted not to have so many people around her. So she used to say over and over to her children, myself included, she used to say, Ben, I just want to be alone. I just want to be alone. Now, this is something she would say regularly, maybe every week, every month, every day. It doesn't matter how many times, but it was regular. Until one day, this phrase, I just want to be alone, started bubbling down into her heart and into her subconscious, which later on, 5-10 years later, made it a reality, because her personality changed to a situation where she was actually pushing people away by doing various things. In fact, she pushed a lot of us away from her. I don't think that's what she intended to do, but it became that her personality was either so negative or just manipulative that nobody really wanted to be around her. And this is something that you have to understand with your mind and the words that you use every day. So if, for example, you use the words, oh, I'm such an idiot every day, over time, you will actually become an idiot. I know that sounds bizarre. Or if you think, I am ugly, or I am whatever it is. So change that around, and you could say that I am beautiful, I am handsome, I am successful, over and over. And one day it just hits you down here. Now, this comes back to what my daughter was saying to me, because, I probably quite regularly, I didn't realize how regular it was. I would be telling her, Jess, I'm so happy that you're XYZ, you're doing so well, because I know that now that if I die, I'm going to die happy that you're well. And so I'm regularly telling her that just planning my funeral and so on, that when I die, and so that's going to bubble down to a point where I might even create some kind of depressive personality. Not today, not 3 weeks, not a month, but maybe way down, I create this personality that actually does cause myself to die. Maybe I take too many risks. Maybe I'm over courageous, and this is where courage is not always a great thing to do. I have told people in one of my broadcasts that it might be better for you not to like any of my posts because somebody is on a warpath, and if they see them liking these posts of mine, then they may be put in that person's path of destruction. And so it might be better, rather than courageously support me, do the cowardly thing, especially if they've got lots of investment within that person's organization. So these are areas where courage and cowardice are important, but the main thing is to train that mind to be successful, to think of things that are really perhaps it's not negative or positive, perhaps it's even just neutral, but not to put yourself down regularly, or not to say, so my mother wasn't actually putting herself down when she was saying, I just want to be alone, but there's a phrase, be careful for what you wish for. She probably meant I'd like to just have my family around me and have a few good friends, but that's not what she was saying over and over. And so that became that reality for her. So I'm asking you today, what is it you really want? And if you had only a few days to live, would you be getting involved in a lot of kind of fighting and so on? Or would you be out there doing things that make you happy in your heart? Maybe fighting does make you happy, then carry on doing that. So think about that. Now, it's not the entire story. You cannot just say, I'm successful, I'm successful, I'm successful every day, because that in itself is not going to help you be successful, nor in just taking actions is it going to help you be successful. There were some things that I had to overcome from my childhood days. So in my childhood days, I was told regularly how ugly I was. I was told I would never be particularly successful. So even though I said it over and over, it wouldn't have happened. There are some things that you need to sort out in your heart, which is why my book, Social Magnetism, asks you to look at your heart. Because even though you've got all these, call them positive affirmations, if you like, even if you've got all those positive affirmations going, it doesn't necessarily mean that you will be successful, because in your heart you will be self-sabotaging. So if you have a kind of a victim mentality, oh, poor me, everybody doesn't like me, or maybe I've got lots of people betraying me, or maybe I've got lots of people hating me, and you continually talk about that, even though you have action and proper mindset, inside you've still got that poor me, that victim mentality, and now your mind and your heart are clashing. Yes, and whatever is deep in here will always win. It will always self-sabotage you. So some people use a therapist, some people go to church, some people go to some kind of places or seek some specialists who deal with what's deep down in your heart. Okay, guys, so to train your mind to create success, one, look at the words that you are saying to people, that's number one, and see whether you are growing into those words. Number two, get your heart sorted out so that your heart is in line with your head. And it's the heart that has to be sorted out, not your head. We can logically think as many great things as we like, but if our heart is not in sync, then it will defeat any positive thing you may use. It just is not going to work. And number three, always think of 3 or 4 things you're grateful for every day. And think, if today was my last day, would I be doing the things that I am currently doing? Or would I be going out and being happy and helping other people, following whatever that heart purpose is? All right. So thank you so much for tuning in. And if you enjoyed this broadcast, please do like it. And wish me all the best in my next TED Talk, which is this Saturday. Do help me get focused on that, because at the moment my head is just a little bit all over the place. This is Ben Chai, the Doctor Who of Business, saying goodbye and have one happy week. Here we go. Here we go. End live video.